Welcome back to RottenOrchardArt.com. As always, I'm Mike. I'm glad you made it back. This project's going to be a little bit different. Normally on this channel we tend to lean more towards macabre, horror, gore, things like that. But sometimes you're asked to do something a little bit out of the ordinary. This particular project is actually really close to home. So my wife's grandmother found a walking stick that her grandfather had started carving before he passed away and gave it to my wife. She was really close to him, and this was her father's father. We thought it would be a cool idea to finish that walking stick and dedicate this video to him and give it to her father as a memento, something to remember his dad by. This project's going to be it's going to be very heartfelt, and we're going to take our time. So with all that aside, we've got supplies. And full transparency, I have never done leather work ever, so which is one reason why we got this. This is a pre-tooled sheet of leather. It's already got a design to it. Open it up. If you can see that, it's got like a filigree pattern on it. We're really going to try not to mess this up because this A4 sheet of leather right at $20. So definitely going to take our time. I got all the tools that I thought I might need. Basically what I'm going to be doing is restaining it, polyurethaning. Then we're going to start working with the leather. I've got some leather cord. I'm going to wrap the handle and then lace it up with the cord. I went ahead, I got me a punch set, and I'm sure eventually I might want to work with leather again. And at least I'll have the tools. Then we have the label says it's a wood slicker. I've always heard it referred to as a burnishing tool. Basically, we're going to be using this to kind of round out and smooth out the edges. Of course, I am going to have to cut this, so we don't want any ugly edges on it. We want it to look as nice as possible. We are going to dye this a more rustic brown color. We're going to finish it with beeswax. I got to make this one special. This one's got to count. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's get into it. Got that all shaped up. Now we can move on to sanding. If you're watching this video as a tutorial, wear a mask. Please wear a mask. I really don't have a choice. I thought I had one, but I don't. So please wear a mask. There's no telling how old it is. I mean, it's old. So, it's all right though. We're gonna breathe some new life into this. Make them proud. I'm gonna be dusting for like ever. I was pretty much given the go-ahead to pretty much do what I needed to do to make this work. It looks like he had taken a saw my floor looks like I live in a sawmill. One thing that's actually been bugging me a little bit, there's a tiny nail right here, and I was told that it was put here on purpose for a reason, but no one can seem to remember why. So if you have a walking stick, maybe you got from your dad or your grandpa, and it has a little nail in it, I would like to know, I'm actually kind of curious, I would like to know what that's for. Maybe it's for the guy redoing the walking stick to run his hand across when he's sanding it down. Maybe that's what that's meant for. Okay. Now the end will eventually have to be trimmed up, but I'd actually like to get a stop first. That way I know exactly how much I need to remove. I do not have one of those right now, so we're kind of just gonna roll with it. Let's go put some stain on this guy. So we've got everything sanded down and smoothed out. The top handle part is, the bulge is gone. Now we're going to start gearing up to stain everything. And I've already shaken it up and actually put it on my vortex mixer. Today we are using the Minwax Wood Finish Penetrating Stain 231 gun stock. That's what we're using. I don't want stain on my hoodie. I'm kind of partial to my hoodies. Got the plastic down. We've got our little sponge brush. We've got our Minwax. I'm just gonna coat the whole thing, let it sit for just a few minutes, and wipe it off. Pretty straightforward. I've done this part before. It's the leather part that I have no clue. I've done my homework though. I think we'll be okay. Pretty sure. It's been just a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this side off. We don't want it too dark. We just kind of want to give it some character. Oh yeah, it's a nice color. Y'all have to understand, I come from North Carolina, and there is something to be said about a man and his walking stick. When I got asked to do this, that's an honor, you know, something that's probably older than I am, and they trusted me with that, so I was very honored. I've got a good one. She definitely believes in me. Try to get some of this excess off. It's a little darker than I thought it was going to be, but I'm pretty sure it should match the leather dye that we got. Do this end down here and let it dry. I would say we'd sit it in the sun, but it's frozen outside. Alright. There we go. We're just gonna let this dry for a few hours, and while that's drying, I'm gonna start working on this leather. Okay, so the walking stick is drying. I wanted to get a couple practice hits with this leather punch. I have never used one. When I said I had no clue about leather, I mean I had no clue about leather. Let me just kind of dug in a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like scoop some up. Oh, there you go. We scoop some up. Practice swings. Obviously, it's going to be harder than that. We made a hole. It doesn't work every time though. It's not too bad. 2 out of 3. Can't complain about that. Let's measure, mark. Hopefully we don't mess this up. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I'm actually nervous because I don't have enough leather to do this again. So I'm a little bit nervous for not ever doing this ever before, and I get one shot at it. Beeswax, punch, straight edge to kind of get like an inner measurement. I'm using popsicle sticks because I have them and they're for the most part pretty uniform. Okay, y'all are literally watching me the first time. video I watched, the guy explained that you want about 1 centimeter or 2, because I have to wet this and it's going to become pliable, so it's going to loosen up, and then as it dries it'll draw tighter. So that actually looks doable. Don't tell me I'm a leather genius. Let me find out. So I'm going to cut these lines, then I'm going to come in about 1/4 of an inch and start doing my holes. God, it's so nerve-wracking. If I had sheets of leather, I would care less. Like, I'd just practice all weekend, but I don't. So looks like a good start point anyway. I'm trying to take a little bit off at a time. That way, hopefully, if I start making a mistake, I have enough where I can kind of backtrack a little bit. Okay, you can see that at all. Got a little bit of a gap, and that's what we want. So pretty even gap all the way down. So I'm happy with it. Let's go get some water. Okay, so I've zoomed you in because this is more than likely going to be a really tedious part of this project. I figure you might want to be able to actually see what's going on. I was trying to get a straight edge, like a spacer or something, so I can kind of mark me a line to go down, since I'm doing 1 hole at a time on both sides. And I found these coffee stirrers, and they're actually exactly kind of what I was looking for. So I'm going to draw a line straight down. I noticed earlier it was kind of wanting to cut into it, and I use this for a flat surface, so might be getting me another one soon. Hopefully it doesn't break in the process of this video. I was actually surprised like how hard you have to hit this leather to actually get through it. So I've got my solid line, and then I've got my horizontal lines on both sides, and now it's time to do the damn thing. First hole. That's a pretty straight line. Pretty straight line. I'm pretty happy with that, actually. All right, moving right along. I'm really actually, like, I'm stoked. I'm pretty stoked. That's crazy. That's awesome. So now we wet it and we lace it. Well, the good news is the scary part's over, right? It's cut right, the holes are punched, we're good. We can put these things away. Those are over there now. Did it. It's braided. Can't tell me nothing. Let's do a little recap. We have successfully sanded everything down, got rid of the bulge that was on the walking stick. I have wrapped it in leather, laced it up, and which turned out awesome, by the way. I mean, it's tight. Like, you can't even put a fingernail under there. So I mean, I'm happy with that. Then I went ahead, I did polyurethane it, and now we have this. So it's looking great. Oh, I noticed that there was a lot of stuff that you all couldn't see. So we added this guy. So right there. Yeah, so now I have a floating camera right above here. You're gonna see how that works. Okay, we gotta dye the leather. I'm just gonna kind of go around the edges and just kind of darken it up. That way it'll almost be like a sunburst effect. I might even add a little bit of a yellow kind of in the middle, and then just kind of let the dye be like a wash and just blend everything. Just go around the edges. I've got an extremely fine tip brush. I really don't want to get any dye on like the walking stick or the lacing, really. Just make sure I can keep an eye on, you know, how things are going. You know, you make alcohol inks. You mix ink with alcohol. Just going around this top edge. It's not like super imperative that we get every little tiny detail, because once we start buffing this polish in, it's probably gonna blend anyway. It should be good. Just kind of dabbing it, letting the ink kind of soak in a little bit, and then I'm dabbing it with a rag. I'm gonna add my yellow. Let's go ahead and get this thing dyed and somewhat completed. Normally you use like one of the sponge brushes or something. I decided against that. I figured that would put way too much of the dye down, and I'm trying to do it in a controlled way. We're almost done with this project. I can't wait to give it to my father-in-law. I think he's gonna flip. So really don't have a whole lot left to do, honestly. We're gonna put some beads on this little bit of leather right here in an effort to try to prolong the life of this thing, because it is special. I got a bushing. This is a 3/4 to 1/2 inch bushing, and I got a 3/4 inch cap. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and trim off just a little bit of this wood, just because it is at a point. I want to try to make this as snug as possible. We're going to use either glue or epoxy to fasten this down with, so I do want a snug fit. But first, we are going to have to trim this bushing. Good. I could use the Dremel, but it does tend to make quite a big mess. Got my little tiny saw, so I'm just gonna do it to it. Yeah, we can definitely make that work. Awesome. I went ahead and kind of beveled the edge a little bit. We can now finish that off with a little bit of fine grit sandpaper. And I did get it soldered. I was struggling pretty hard trying to get solder to stick. Soldering iron wouldn't get hot enough, and I ran out of gas in my torch. I actually wrapped a little bit of solder around and set it on the stove. I don't recommend that, but I had to get it done, so. All right, so once that dries, that will be our new end stop. I have picked out a few beads, wooden beads, that I thought would look pretty good on this. Gonna finish that up, and then we're gonna do her father and her grandfather's initials in the top, and we're gonna call this project completed. I was born watching a video when you can't see the crafters what they're doing, so let's take back off of here. I'm not doing anything special, I'm literally tying a knot. One down, yep. So the same pattern on this other one. There you go. So. Nothing super spectacular, but nevertheless, well, ladies and gentlemen, looks complete to me. Thank you for watching this and joining me on this journey of leather working. Take care. Good night, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Show a friend. Take it easy.